Fresh footage has raised questions over whether a costly Patriot interceptor malfunctioned during Iran's latest missile barrage. A dramatic launch sequence caught on camera is fueling debate over the reliability of America's frontline air defense shield. As tensions with Tehran escalate, viral footage is intensifying scrutiny of U.S. missile defense performance in the Gulf. Fresh questions emerged after dramatic footage from Kuwait appeared to show an interceptor veering off course during combat operations. Reports claimed a Patriot missile malfunctioned moments after launch while responding to an incoming Iranian threat. The incident unfolded during Iran's latest wave of missile and drone attacks targeting regional military positions. Air raid sirens echoed across Kuwait as defensive systems rushed into action against the incoming barrage. One interceptor appeared to abruptly change direction shortly after launch, drawing immediate attention online. Some observers suggested a possible guidance or propulsion issue based on the footage circulating online. Defense analysts noted the video did not resemble a typical successful interception sequence. Despite the speculation, no official investigation immediately confirmed any malfunction in the Patriot system. Kuwaiti authorities did not publicly comment on whether technical failure had occurred during the engagement. U.S. forces insisted defensive systems successfully engaged and defeated threats aimed at Kuwait. Multiple Patriot batteries were reportedly activated as military sites across the region remained on high alert. The footage reignited a wider debate over how advanced air defense networks perform under saturation attacks. Claims of Patriot missile system malfunction surfaced earlier this year during regional escalations in Bahrain, after U.S. interceptor reportedly veered off course and hit a residential area. As the controversy grew, Iran maintained that its missiles and drones had targeted American military facilities in Kuwait and Bahrain.
A few moments ago, the public relations of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps stated that late last night, the aggressive American military targeted an Iranian oil tanker near the Strait of Hormuz with an aerial missile, resulting in damage to the tanker's engine room. In response to this aggression in violation of the Strait of Hormuz regulations, the enemy's American Zionist vessel named Patriot was targeted by missiles from the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps Navy. In the statement of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, it is mentioned that the American enemy, in another act of aggression, targeted a telecommunications tower the Corps in the south of Qeshm Island. In response to this aggression, their airbase and helicopter base located in one of the countries in the region, as well as the headquarters of the Fifth Fleet, was subjected to missile and drone attacks by the Aerospace Force of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps.
Washington said it answered the attacks with military strikes on Iranian-linked sites, including facilities on Qeshm Island. The latest escalation has heightened fears that the Gulf standoff could spiral into a broader regional confrontation. Washington says its latest move is part of a broader campaign to tighten pressure on Tehran across Gulf waters. American officials described the action as enforcement of restrictions targeting maritime access to Iranian ports. The disclosure came after U.S. Central Command revealed details of an operation carried out in the Arabian Gulf. According to U.S. officials, the vessel was heading toward one of Iran's most strategically important oil terminals. Military authorities allege the tanker repeatedly failed to comply with instructions issued by coalition forces. U.S. officials say communication attempts continued for hours before commanders approved intervention. American forces ultimately used an air-launched weapon to stop the vessel from continuing its voyage. The strike reportedly rendered the tanker inoperable before it could reach its intended destination. CENTCOM maintains the operation was conducted under existing blockade enforcement protocols. Karg Island remains central to Iran's energy sector and serves as a key export gateway. U.S. officials say several commercial vessels have already been targeted under the ongoing enforcement campaign. Washington claims dozens of additional ships have altered course rather than approach Iranian ports. American authorities insist the restrictions apply regardless of a vessel's nationality or ownership. U.S. officials stress that international shipping not linked to Iranian ports can still transit the region. The latest maritime incident comes amid renewed military friction between Iran and the United States across the Gulf. Conflicting claims from Washington and Tehran have once again turned Gulf shipping lanes into a flashpoint. The U.S. military publicly showcased the strike, highlighting its ability to enforce blockade measures at sea. American officials presented the footage as proof that violations of the maritime restrictions would face immediate consequences. The release came amid growing disputes over recent incidents involving commercial vessels across the region. Questions remain unanswered regarding the status of those aboard after the tanker was disabled. The confrontation underscores how a single maritime encounter could rapidly push both sides toward renewed escalation. On June 1st, Iran's Revolutionary Guard said their naval forces targeted a US-Israel-linked commercial vessel near Iraq's Gaza port, framing the strike as part of an ongoing maritime confrontation. The Guards claimed they fired a cruise missile at the container ship MSC Sariskar in what they called a revenge attack, explicitly tying the operation to earlier US military actions at sea. According to their statement, the strike was carried out in response to a US military attack on the Iran-bound vessel Lian Star in the Sea of Oman, which Tehran portrayed as unprovoked aggression. Iranian state outlet Press TV reported that MSC Sariskar suffered a major explosion after being hit, suggesting the ship sustained significant damage even though it remained afloat. The IRGC warned that any further US aggression in the region would be met with a decisive response, signaling Tehran's intent to keep using maritime attacks as a tool of deterrence and retaliation. This latest warning came as US Central Command announced on May 30th that it had disabled a Gambia-flagged cargo ship.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that we will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest news makers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the U.S. will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry ghats.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Deep dive into burning issues.
It's often said DRC could be the richest country in the whole world. It's because of what sits underneath.
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HD videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.